And as promised, welcome to the bonus part of the Phantoms Lair podcast ahead of round 17. Didn't get quite enough time. The Chief was taking up too much talking about his to look through our final teams. Now, mine's pretty final. The Chief, almost final, I think, but we will get to that. We are going to run through and look at our teams, look at our trades, look at our early plans, maybe for VC and our loopholes for round 17. And if you do like it, we might keep doing it going forward. But didn't go great last week, Chief.
No.
Got a few big guns to bring back on. And finally can see our complete team. It's finally good to get them all back on the park.
Yeah, you do have some good names coming back in.
Now, Lachie Whitfield is not going to play this week.
No.
As we have just found out. So in a full team, Lachie Whitfield would be in there. I'm going to hold him. Callum Mills at D6. Tom McCarthy would be the emergency, or depending, Callum Mills, whoever plays earlier in the round. Loop one on. Hope it all works out in the fixture. It won't work out in the fixture every week with Campbell Gray there as the 0 in defence, but hoping most weeks to maximise the biggest score there from the D6. But this week with no Callum Mills, so this week with no Lachie Whitfield, Tom McCarthy starts D6. So he's the 24th player.
And at least you've got some DPP in your midfield. I'm just looking now, where if you have, like, you know, say we recording early in the week, like a Sheasel misses, you've still got that swing with McKercher. You can move him back, say play someone else, like a rookie on field for that week in the midfield. But
it's
not a bad structure.
As you see, you've got Nick Martin in the flex spot in the final team, so he can also come up. But I want to keep Campbell Gray up there in the defense, on the defensive bench with that forward status as well. So the midfield, bring Lachie Neale and Zach Merritt back on, brings Colby McKercher to M8, which pretty happy with.
So just the 2 trades left, Phantom, and you've only got 17K in the bank. So you can't really do anything unless you do a downgrade. Are you holding this downgrade upgrade, or are you expecting, you know, a 2 to 3 week injury to hold those 2, or unless you just wait until the last couple of weeks if you get lucky run of injuries? Obviously, you're holding Lachie Whitfield the 1 trade, 1 week. Sorry, we're hoping he's back the week after. But yeah, you're just holding that for 2 to 3 weeks, or just like a luxury final upgrade, really quite close to the end of the season.
And you might wait till 4 or even 3 rounds left, depending how this team is going and the rank is going. At that point, might run the gauntlet a little bit early if I think I am falling too much. As we've said on the show, you try to minimise that risk by waiting enough. But as you see, Gawn and Cherry in the ruck, the forward line, Nick Martin coming on. He's going to be, as I've talked about on the show, the flex spot with Jack McRae coming in last week, which I was happy to spend 3 trades to get that. Gives me a lot of flexibility. Isaac Rankin on price comes down to F6. Now, Rankin been a little bit down on form. Hasn't scored a SuperCoach ton for a while now. I think since round 8. Chad Warner been a touch underwhelming. Jason Horne-Francis, we've spoken about what happened to him on the weekend, been injured too. But I think they can all pull together, and you know, not anytime soon am I going to luxury trade any of those players. But again, maybe is it the forward line where I do some work potentially.
Yeah.
We've got Nick Martin there. Gold Coast this week, Richmond the week after as well. We know how big he went against Richmond only 5 or 6 weeks ago now. So that is how the team is looking at the moment. Not a lot of cover on the bench. No. Sam Butler in the forward line, Manny Liddy in the midfield, and then Tom McCarthy in defence when Lachie Whitfield is back. So 1 on each line. But then again, obviously as well, with 23 players, we only need 22 scoring.
Yeah.
If worse comes to worse, you play a rookie or you take a 0 in your flex spot, bring Nick Martin, you know, defence or forward. So I'm pretty happy with the flexibility I've got there. I reckon early VC Marcus Bontempelli on Thursday night against North Melbourne.
Yep.
I might have gone Lachie Whitfield if he was playing against the Eagles. However, there at Optus Stadium. Not sure exactly who to go after that. Max Gawn against the Crows at Adelaide Oval. Potentially Bailey Smith maybe against Richmond as well. Another VC option if you do overlook Marcus Bontempelli, but he could be a good captaincy option there. Nick Dacos also against the Blues on Friday night. But I reckon the Bont or a Sam Darcy VC Thursday night.
Surely Bont can bounce back.
I think so.
Jeez, you'd hope so. Yeah, the squad's looking pretty good, Fance. I'll give you that. I like the thing that you've got, which we'll see in a second, that I don't have, is flexibility for coverage.
Yep.
So, having Nick Martin there with, I know he's not obviously a green dot, but having like a grey in defence, I mean, it would be better obviously if he's a playing player, but at least you've got some swing. You've got some ability to, like, if you need to cover a defender that's out, you could always switch Martin back, for instance. And you've got some DPP in the midfield to go back to cover and forward. I have literally none of that. So should we take a look at my squad?
I think we should.
All right, fans, let's take a look at my squad now. And the first thing I'll draw your attention to... the first thing I'll just draw your attention to here, it's the season rank, which is above yours now. Just. So 229.5.
You got the popcorn back out.
Yep.
It'll be a long second.
Let's jump in and have a look at the squad. So as you can see, 5 trades still remaining in the squad, but yeah, it's not ideal. It's not the worst. It's going all right, but as we've heard, Lachie Whitfield's out this week. I'm going to have to run the gauntlet with some absolute rooks unless I pull the trigger on a trade.
So you've got Tom McCarthy at D6 in your final team if Whitfield was playing?
I do, yes. But at the moment, based on a 2-game sample size, 117 average, I think I'd take that at the moment, Fans. So, I mean, it's a risk, but it's a risk at the moment I'm willing to take. Also, I am, if you didn't know, a West Coast man, the listeners. So happy to watch my team have at least one bright spark in there.
Yep.
In the midfield, so the issue I've mentioned, which I mentioned on the main podcast, was Sam Doherty. So he's going to get DPP. He's going to get defensive status as far as we know if he plays. As I said, Carlton fans coming for his head. Don't want him in the squad. Don't know what the coaching staff's thinking if they're going to mix that up. Tries his guts out, but he is a potential trade option for me as well.
Yep.
If I wanted to go down to 3 trades, if I want to maybe get a little bit frisky with a Lachie Whitfield, get him out of the team with that 1 week extra and have some extra scoring on field, keep the rank rise going. It all depends on, again, how Whitfield finishes the end of the year. In the midfield, I'd say the weak spot there, I mean, one of Rao, Caldwell or Chera, having all 3 of those guys, they're all risky propositions. They're all ceiling or basement types. So probably either going to get a 60 or a 120 from these guys.
So that one more week though, Doc will have to play on your mid bench. If you choose one of them. Yeah.
So it's unfortunate. I was kind of expecting, I was like, surely one of my mids will be out for a week by the time the buys end and I could swing it. As I said as well on the main show, I thought DPPs was around earlier for some stupid reason. So I've got to wait a week. If Doc keeps playing, I'll probably just hold off and bite that bullet for a week and then swing him back. If not, I can always trade Doc, bring Bo Allen up to the midfield and get some sort of coverage there as well. So that's definitely an option I'm looking into, especially with I'd have to play Bo Allen if like a Matt Carroll's not named, which is not going to happen. So I'm probably going to trade this week if I'm being honest.
Yep. Otherwise, I'll definitely be top of the pod.
Yep. Up forward, pretty happy. I've got 2 rookies that seem to have solid job security. Archer may have already jumped on, so didn't need to spend a trade there. I've got Liddy in the midfield as well, and obviously McCarthy. TDK, another one that I'm not super happy now that I've got back on him. I loved him last year, but it's been a rough ride since jumping back on. So that's the squad though, fans. Pretty happy with how it's ended up. Very happy I've got Luke Jackson in the mix. Love seeing him in my forward line. Would love him to be solo rucking to get monster scores, but that's
Darcy's pretty good.
Probably not going to happen for a while now, but still think he's a solid. Obviously scored 116 with the dual ruck set up there. Pretty confident with that. And for my captain, vice captain setup, I think I'm actually looking possibly at a Jordan Dawson against Melbourne. If one of my other, he might be my captain to bring me home. But probably a Bont against North. Can't go past that either.
Pretty good team. Pretty good.
Thanks, mate.
Just a bit rough around the edges.
5 trades though, still got some room to manoeuvre.
As you mentioned, Tom McCarthy, a lot of super coaches out there playing him at D6. Given what we've seen at the moment, don't be put off by having that price tag on your final team. It's all about what he's putting out at the moment, scoring like a premium.
Yep. Let us know in the comments what you think we should both be doing with our squads. Obviously, fancy can't really do much with that with the 2 trades, but
you wouldn't want to do much more with that.
With old Dossie with the 2 trades. Let me know if you have any thoughts.
Let us know if your team's better as well. How many trades you've got left, and you're looking a lot better than we are.
Yep. A little bit of extra at the end of the YouTube there. Subscribe to Cope Sports.
Yep. If you like it, we'll do it again next week.
Yep. See you then.